Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my new video. So let's talk about Iran. As you can see from these images, there seems to be a lot of troop movements from the United States. They are moving troops into the Middle East. Some say it is up to 50,000 troops. And they are moving them with these slow moving Osprey copters. I think they're called Osprey. I'm pretty sure they are. As you can see, they're very slow and they're very big and easy to destroy with anti-aircraft missiles, which Iran has. So this is why the United States wanted a ceasefire, so they can move these slow-moving troops into the Middle East. Because imagine moving these Ospreys during the middle of the war. Iran would easily shoot them all down, easily, guys. So this is why they wanted the ceasefire. They are resupplying all the troops. I think they want to do some sort of ground invasion of maybe the Strait of Hormuz or maybe some islands off the Strait of Hormuz. Or they're planning something more bigger. Who knows? But they're definitely up to no good. And they definitely will start this war again. Not, I don't think the ceasefire will even last 2 weeks. So another thing that's been happening is Israel has been bombing the hell out of Beirut, literally killing civilians like they did to Gaza, women and children mainly. You know, they are destroying whole apartments, as you can see. They don't know who's in these apartments. They don't know if there's any women and children in these apartments. They're just bombing the hell out of everything, every single building, like they did with Gaza. And the world is letting them get away with it. There's no condemnation from Europe, from EU, from Britain, from obviously not from America. No condemnation whatsoever from the world. And it's the same thing they did with Gaza. They allowed a genocide to take place, and they will gladly allow another genocide to take place in Lebanon. The West will do absolutely nothing about it. So this ceasefire, you know, didn't even last a day, and Israel has been bombing Beirut and Lebanon. And then obviously Iran has said the ceasefire terms is broken and Lebanon is included in the ceasefire terms, And then Trump has come out saying, oh, it's not in the terms. Lebanon is not included. Then you have JD Vance coming online and saying, oh, it's not been included. Well, it's a lie because we know it's been included because the terms have been included in Shahbaz Sharif's Pakistan PM's tweet. And in the original text, we've seen the original text, and it says clearly that there needs to be a ceasefire in Lebanon as well. So this is why Israel is attacking Lebanon. Here's my thoughts, by the way. While this ceasefire is taking place, Israel is going to destroy Lebanon as much as it can, bomb it as much as it can, try and weaken Hezbollah as much as it can, and then when the war starts again with Iran, they basically have weakened Hezbollah. That's what they want. So they are using this opportunity to attack Hezbollah, make it as weak as it can. Because when this war was going on, you had Israel being attacked from all sides, from Iran, from Hezbollah, from Yemen. So they are using this opportunity with the ceasefire to take out Hezbollah. Obviously they can't, but that's what their plan is. That's what they're trying to do. And this is why it's a mistake having this ceasefire. Iran should not be doing this ceasefire at all. It's clearly a mistake. And, you know, How many times does Iran have to be fooled? This is the third time they have been made fools out of. Every time they do some sort of negotiation with the West outsmarts them. Never make a deal with the devil, guys. Never talk to these venom-tongued, terrorists, because that's what they are. Iran is fooled again and again and again. So while in the middle of negotiations, the Americans and the Israelis are planning on how to beat Iran. They are moving their troops around, they are moving their weapons around, they are killing civilians in Hezbollah and killing Hezbollah, and and I'm sure they are planning something to take out Iran one way or another. That's why you shouldn't give these people an inch. That's why it's a big mistake for Iran to be even negotiating with them. And I blame that guy, Pezeshkian, that pro-West leader they have in Iran. I blame him because out of the whole team, they pretty much killed every single person in that leadership, and they kept him alive. Why is that? Why is he still alive? Because he's an asset. That's why. And I bet it was his idea that to go for more negotiations. It's a waste of time, guys. A waste of time. Waste of absolutely Iran's time. And every time they negotiate, they put themselves in a weaker and weaker position. Iran was winning. They were in the stronger position. It was Americans that were losing. It was Israel that was losing. And each time they outsmart the Iranians. So, okay, look, I know the ceasefire might be a good idea for Iran right now because if they can make use out of this downtime, if they can announce they are a nuclear superpower by the end of the ceasefire, if they can get as many weapons systems and raw materials from China and Russia as possible over the next 2 weeks, then yeah, that's fine. Then, then that was a good ceasefire for Iran. But they're not doing that, guys. They're not doing that. They're negotiating. And I don't think they will announce they're going to be a nuclear superpower. And I don't think they are getting any weapons from China or Russia. I don't see any planes landing from China into Russia. It might be, but it might be fake news. I don't know. But yeah, guys, I just think this ceasefire is a big mistake. I think the West is playing with Iran again and again and again. How many times are they going to have to negotiate with the West and fail? The West got driven out of Afghanistan, they got driven out of Vietnam, they got driven out of North Korea. This is the only language they respond to, strength. That's the only way to beat them. Because if you negotiate with them, they will, pretend they're your friend, they're going to give you flowers, they're going to give you hugs and kisses, and then behind your back, they will kill you and they will destroy your country. They will find a way. So, yeah, if they didn't have this ceasefire, all these troop buildups, people that are doing all these troop buildups, they would have been dead. All of these helicopters that you see flying around, all of them would have been destroyed with Iranian anti-aircraft power and missiles, all of them. So this is a good opportunity for them to move their troops and things around. So I don't know what Iran is doing, guys. I think they are making some huge mistakes. What they need to do is build a nuclear weapon as soon as possible, announce they're a superpower, and that's it. End of story. They're going to be, the Americans will immediately move out the area because they don't want to be nuked. And the Israelis will stop picking on Iran. That's the only way to survive. Like I said in my previous videos, when China became a superpower, they didn't build high-speed rail. They didn't have these fancy skyscrapers everywhere. They didn't have a space program. These are all fancy things. The most important thing as a country is security. And how can you secure yourself as a country? And how can you be sovereign? Is to have nuclear weapons. That's the first thing you need to secure. This is what North Korea has done, and now North Korea's economy is actually booming. Those of you who follow North Korea, you will know their economy is booming. They have beautiful cities all over North Korea now. Pyongyang is looking amazing. They have free healthcare, education for everyone. And it looks so clean, and people are happy. The economy is booming at the moment. This is why first you need security. You need to secure your borders. Make sure you have enough firepower so nobody invades you, nobody attacks you, and that you can only do that with nuclear by being nuclear. And then you can grow in peace. You can build these fancy high-speed rail. You can build a fancy skyscrapers because nobody will be crazy enough to attack you. Well, they can attack you, but that's going to be they can attack you via proxy, but it's not the same as invading or threatening you with nukes or anything like that. That's different. But yeah, guys, I just think Iran's making a big mistake. I hope I'm wrong, by the way. I hope that in this downtime during this ceasefire, Iran is making preparations to build a nuclear weapon. I hope that they are restocking their missiles. I hope they are, getting as much weapons and raw materials they need from China and Russia. And I hope this is the case behind the scenes. Obviously, we don't know because if it happens, it'll be done in secret. So, guys, let's move on to the next story. And that story is basically Joe Kent. And there's a rumor going around that Trump wants to leave NATO. He wants to basically he's been threatening to do that for the last couple of weeks. He says NATO is a paper tiger, it's useless, it doesn't help the United States in fighting Iran. And there's been talk that they might leave NATO. But Joe Kent has given an interview and he said the main reason that the United States wants to leave NATO is not because NATO hasn't helped in Iran or anything like that. He says the main reason is because they want to attack Turkey in the future. And Turkey is a NATO member. And Israel has said that after Iran, they want to attack Turkey. But the United States cannot attack Turkey because they are a fellow NATO member. So only way United States can attack Turkey is by leaving NATO and then attacking Turkey. The rest of the NATO members will do nothing. Obviously, they're all paper tigers. Britain, Germany, France, they're going to do nothing when America and Israel attacks Turkey. There's nothing they can do. What they're going to do? Nuke America? I don't think so. So that's the plan. I think Israel, for it to do its Greater Israel project, it's got a number of adversaries in the region. Number one is Iran. So they want to take out the threat of Iran first. And the second threat to Israel is Turkey. And many don't know that Turkey actually occupies northern Cyprus. And Israel wants to take over Cyprus. There's already lots of Israelis and Jews moving to Cyprus, buying up huge amounts of land. And they see Turkey as a threat because Turkey occupies northern Cyprus. And they are scared that one day Turkey might occupy all of Cyprus if they see lots of Jews moving in there. So that's the one reason. And also Turkey is a growing military power as well. They are pretty strong. Even though they're doing nothing, in the Middle East, watching their brothers and sisters get killed in Gaza, in Lebanon. Because all of that used to be part of the Ottoman Empire, by the way. All of that used to be owned by, Turkish But they're doing nothing. They're sitting behind, doing nothing, letting Israel kill their brothers and sisters, Muslim brothers and sisters, doing nothing. However, they do have a pretty strong military, and they have lots of NATO weapons as well, and they have pretty good um, they have a pretty good technology and manufacturing of weapons. They make their own weapons as well, Turkey. And it's a big country, big population, so it's a huge threat to Israel's ambitions for Greater Israel because they see Turkey as a threat, Iran as a threat. You also see Saudi Arabia as a threat, but not now. Saudi Arabia is they're a bunch of puppets, basically. So they don't see Saudi Arabia as much of a threat. I'm sure once they get rid of all of the major adversaries like Iran and Turkey, they will take half of Saudi Arabia, and they will take most of the oil, and there's nothing these Gulf Arabs can do about it. So that's what Joe Kent has said. I do tend to agree with him. I do, but I do think there's many reasons why United States wants to leave NATO. Many reasons. It's not just because of Turkey. I think they want to leave because they don't see value in NATO anymore, and they don't want to get dragged into a bigger war with Russia because they know what's coming with Russia. One of these days, things will escalate between Russia and Ukraine, and the Baltic states will get involved. And the Baltic states will probably get invaded by Russia, not all of it, but maybe parts of it, especially the Silvaki Gap. And these small Baltic states will cry for Article 5. They'll say, Article 5, Article 5, we're being attacked, we're being invaded. Where is America? Where is America? And then America will be obliged to help these fellow NATO members because of the Article 5 thing. And they will be dragged into war with Russia, a nuclear war as well, maybe. So America doesn't want that. They want to focus on the Middle East, they want to focus on China. So I think that is another reason. And I think also they know that all the investment that they put in NATO, they know they're not getting it back. All the money they're putting in investments and stuff, and it doesn't make any much money for United States anymore because European countries have stopped buying NATO products. They've stopped buying NATO weapons because they don't see America as an ally anymore. They see America as a threat. So I think they've stopped ordering American weapons, and now Europe is going a different way. I think they're going to be focused on building their own weapon systems. So I think there's many reasons why they want to leave NATO, but obviously that's one of them. So finally, let's talk about Pakistan, shall we? Yeah, so Pakistan has been the main negotiator for Iran and the US. And as you can see, the plane is taking Iranians, negotiators, and they got heavy escorts with Pakistani jets. 6 escorts, which is quite a lot, you can see. And they're going to be under huge security, making sure they don't get killed by the Israelis, or maybe CIA or who knows. So why is Pakistan getting involved with the negotiations? First of all, I don't trust the Pakistani leadership. They're all puppets of Trump, especially the Shahbaz Sharif guy. He is an absolute Trump lover, and he's on record to be the cringiest leader on earth, more than Modi. He would literally sit and kiss Trump's ass all day in public. He doesn't care about his people or the cameras or what the world thinks of him. He will kiss Trump's backside all day long. And you can see there's clips of him all over the internet, basically showering Trump with fake compliments and ass kissing, and it's quite cringy to watch, to be honest. So I don't trust the Pakistani leadership one bit, and I think what they're doing is they're not doing it to because they love the Iranians and they want to avoid world war. They're doing it out of their own benefit. And I think Trump or the administration for Trump has given Pakistan maybe some sort of gifts, maybe to get this negotiation going, this peace deal going. And I think they're using Pakistan as a fake ceasefire deal because all the Gulf countries like Qatar and stuff like that used to be where the negotiations used to take place before. But then Israel attacked Qatar, and the Americans allowed Israeli to bomb Qatari, buildings, kill Qatari people without firing a shot at Israeli airplanes or missiles. They just allowed Israel to go into Qatar airspace and bomb them. So Pakistan is the only people who are basically around who have got some diplomatic influence over Iran and with the West as well. So this is why Pakistan has been chosen. I think Pakistan is just being used as a fake ceasefire. This is just a fake ceasefire, guys, not a real ceasefire. And Pakistan is also in a difficult position as well because they have a defense clause with Saudi Arabia. And if Saudi Arabia gets attacked, Pakistan has to defend them and also attack the attacker. So Pakistan obviously got a lot of money from Saudis and UAE as well. UAE has recently asked for its money back, and Saudi Arabia has asked for its money back as well. But yeah, they have been getting a lot of money in return, and but Saudis and UAE have basically asked for the money back. So Pakistan is in a really difficult spot. They are being asked to basically protect UAE and Saudi and attack Iran. But Pakistan doesn't want to attack Iran, its Muslim neighbor, and also I think American Trump basically wants to use Pakistan as a land bridge to attack Iran as well. I think they want to use Balochistan, which is southern Pakistan. And I think if there is a ground operation, they want to use Balochistan as a ground operation to attack Iran. And obviously, Pakistan doesn't want that. So it's in Pakistan's interest for the world and the region to have peace, because otherwise, Pakistan will be dragged into the war. And obviously, Pakistan doesn't want that. So this is why they're trying extra hard to basically have some sort of peace. But I don't think it will last, to be honest, because the gap between the American, they want the 15-point stuff, which is basically the Israeli 15-point demands, and obviously the Iranian 10-point demand. Trump initially said, yeah, he agrees to the 10-point demand, but then recently Caroline Levitt says Trump actually thrown away Iran's 10-point demand, threw in the bin, and he didn't agree with anything. Then he says Lebanon is not included and all these other. He's basically walking back on everything he agreed. So I don't have much hope for this ceasefire, guys. I think it will probably last for days, maybe like a week, maybe, and it will fall apart because at the end of the day, Israel is calling the shots, and Trump is completely in bed with Israel, and he will basically listen to whatever Israel tells him to do. So that's it, guys. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care for now.